Alright guys, welcome to another repurposing project, and this is an old door that was sitting in my garage for a little over a year, just leaning against the wall, and I just couldn't throw it away because it had too much character, and so I decided it would make a great desk. So first part was to cut it down to size. Once that was done, it was time to start removing all of the paint. Used a paint remover and just scraping and sanding and more paint remover. It's a long process, but eventually got it all off, and the wood underneath looked beautiful. So that was the goal. So once we got all the paint off, it was time to add the deep pour epoxy, and I added this beautiful blue color to the epoxy. And the first part of this pour is the color, the base color, and to fill all of the panes basically all the way up to the surface of the wood or just below it. And then I come back with the accent color, and that basically filled it up the rest of the way. And just poured these in by eyeball, just tried to get them all about the same amount, and then went back and stirred them all in. And went back to this probably about 3 or 4 times to get it the way that I wanted it. Once the tabletop epoxy was completely dry, it was time to bring it back out to the garage and sand the whole project down. Now this is a 80 grit sandpaper, so it's pretty aggressive sandpaper, but you want to etch this entire surface to give the tabletop epoxy something to grab onto. So once the sanding was complete, it was time to pour the tabletop epoxy onto the project, and this is a very satisfying part of the project because you get to see how the tabletop epoxy pulls out the beauty of the wood and the beauty of the project. So once you get this poured on, you basically just spread it all around the project, make sure it covers every part of it, all of the sides, and then you go back with a torch and you basically are pulling the bubbles out, or you're popping all of the bubbles on top of the project. You got to do this about 3 or 4 times. Once that was done, it was time to add the legs, and there you go. You have a brand new desk. Now this isn't the cheapest or easiest way to get a desk, but you're not going to go out and buy this in a store. Here's to a healthy home.